Hey there, YTBC, Palm Tree Piper here, and I am back from Gainesville, Georgia, where they had the Smitty's Pipe Show, and had a really great time. It was my first event ever, my first pipe event ever, and wanted to give you kind of the rundown of how it went. We got there on a Friday, got there really late Friday night, and the next morning my wife and I ran some errands, and we got there at 1. It was from 1 to 9. We got there, we got the lay of the land. Obviously you saw I posted a few video shorts, and made our way around, got the lay of the land, kind of made my rounds just to see what's where, and settled down, and we started smoking pipe. There was a lot of tobacco. There's kind of a grab bag table, and got to try some really neat stuff. I got to try some Penzance and some vintage 2010 HH Syrian, some old stuff, and it was really good. And got to meet some people, got to meet a lot of great people. Got to spend some time with Dr. Alan Harrelson from the Pipe Cottage, and producer guy Nick from the Get Pipe podcast, and of course Adam Floyd from Get Pipe, the podcast, and the video. And we had a really good time. I spoke to them and spoke about videos, spoke about content. Obviously, because next week will be 1 month and 5 videos that I've produced. So it was really good. I would say, as far as video wise, I did I expected it to be a little more. I was a little more ambitious, I think, in the beginning, and then I kind of said, well, let me pace myself, let me enjoy this, and I did. What I should have probably filmed was the Sheridan Pipe Seminar with John David Cole. It was really great. It was really informative. I was up at the front seat listening. I was like, I should have brought my phone with me, but it was really good. We also had Neil Osborne and how to smoke rope tobacco, and actually we got a sample of one. I've got some rope. Actually cut it. Got some rope. This is some whiskey rope here, and there's a little cross section of it. This is actually probably about 2 pipefuls right here. And what's interesting is I think it was something that's intimidating to a lot of people, because it's just this piece of it's bundles of tobacco, and they twist it into rope. Really gnarly looking. It literally looks like a dog turd. And that's actually when Neil described it in the seminar. That's exactly what he said. But he showed us how to cut it, and we cut it, and then he kind of gave us the whole thing on how to. You don't rub it out, because this stuff, like I said, it's cigar leaves just tied together. So it went ahead and I cut it myself. Actually, I have a cutting board with it, and it cuts very coarse. I mean, it can be as coarse or as loose as you want it. When I started cutting it, it reminded me of some cigar filler that I used to break in my Morgan Bones a couple of weeks ago. So that's it. Because it's Monday, it's Morgan Monday. I'm going to go ahead and load up a Morgan Bones. I'm going to try it out in a minute. But I wanted to talk about kind of the crux of going to an event. Obviously you go there, you go there, and there's stuff for sale. But really it's about people. It's about that fellowship. Because if you want to go to a pipe show and buy stuff, you can buy stuff online. I mean, they have great sales there, don't get me wrong, but you can buy stuff online. What it really is, it's about getting together. It's about a sense of community. I was sitting with some guys, and they were like, I've never sat with this many people before, smoking pipe. And because a couple of things, because the pipe community is small, and I think because I think socially, I think we're all still rebounding from the pandemic, and still trying to kind of get out and get about and get social. But it was a great event. Again, I also met Georgia Piper. It was nice to see him, and met some local people and people like myself who traveled. For us, it was about a 6-hour drive up, and then on the way back, my wife and I decided to take the scenic route So it was about 10 hours coming back because we'd zigzagged through Georgia. I hadn't been driving around in Georgia since for many years. My last duty station when I was in the Army was in Savannah, Georgia, and so I got to drive around, and I really fell in love with it. And it was a beautiful day right up to about 7 o'clock when we hit the rain on the Georgia-Florida border. But it was a beautiful day, and we just drove around the hills and just countryside, and it was absolutely great. Kind of the hidden gem in there was my wife. I wouldn't have gone to this unless she said, "Hey, let's go," because I told her a few weeks back. I told her, this thing's in Georgia. We really need to go. She's like, "Hey, let's go," because that's how she is. So she had a great time too, which is fantastic. It wasn't like she was rolling her eyes or waiting patiently. She was in the mix, and she was meeting people, and at one point came back and she had a stogie in her, because it's a cigar bar as well. She had a stogie in her hand and a drink, and at one point she's like, "Let me take a puff with your pipe." She took a puff. Let me take a couple of puffs in the pipe, and I think we got a convert. On the way home, she said, "I might want a pipe. So how about that?" But another thing she did that totally surprised me and really took me off guard was she got me a pipe. Yeah. And not only she got me a pipe, but she got me like this fantastic choice of pipes. I don't know if she asked around or did her homework, but she got me a Nording pipe. This is a conventional Nording pipe. It's an estate pipe, completely restored. I believe she got it from Pipe Cottage. And what I love about it, it's a conventional pipe. It's got a great shape to it. And but the shape of it itself is obviously it's kind of like making a nod towards the classic Nording freehand, that flair that it has. It smoked wonderfully. As a matter of fact, I bought a pouch, bought 2 ounces of Old Toby from the Pipe Cottage, which I have here. I think we got it. I've jarred it since I got home, but a pouch of Old Toby, and it is an aromatic, but it's the kind of aromatic that a lot of guys who tried it were saying, "Hey, I'm not an aromatic guy, but this stuff is good. It's just really, really subtle, really mellow." So those were my takeaways, and I think that it was great to go over there simply because it was my first event, and I do plan on going to Las Vegas, so I don't want to get overwhelmed. I mean, it was one big row of tables, so there were probably about half a dozen vendors. There was the big one for me was the Country Squire, and they just had a great selection. There was a couple of people there with I think I got a couple of basket pipes for gifts, but all in all, it was a great event, and I look forward to going to more. There's one in September in Albany. I won't be going to that one because I'm saving up my shekels for Las Vegas. But if you're in the Albany area, they're having one there. I guess the takeaways from it are hydrate, caffeinate, sleep when you get back. I'm still catching up on it. It was for this one. It was a 1 day. It was 1 day. It was 8 hours. I can only imagine when you go to a full blown like the Las Vegas or the Chicago, and it's 3 days if you get there early, but it's 2 days, and it's 2 days of piping from morning to late at night. Looking forward to it. I smoked more pipe in 1 day than I ever do in a week, and it was really great. And it was just a great community. People were sharing tobaccos. As a matter of fact, someone gave. I got some 2012 Penzance. I got a jar of it. I ended up giving producer guy Nick. I gave him a couple of bowlfuls of some Camoys number 7 that I had, because he mentioned that he likes Escudo Navy Flake, and he's really a vapor fan, and so I gave him some of that. It was really great because it's discontinued. You can't get it anymore. So it was really great, an opportunity to sit with people and just pipe. It's really great. So what I'm going to do right now, I didn't want to just talk. I wanted to do a little show and tell, and we're going to try some of this whiskey rope tobacco. And already preloaded it. And normally I'm a match guy when I'm at home. It's kind of old school, but I learned in my first YouTube video after about 3 takes that matches don't light on cue. So I'm going to go ahead and light this. I'm going to get my charring light, tamp it down, and we're going to go ahead and try to light it again. Good stuff. It's burly, definitely burly. You don't taste much of the whiskey, but I don't think it's not really a whiskey aromatic. I don't think these twists are meant to be aromatic. But it is a robust, burly smoke, definitely. Gonna take a couple of lights. It is a robust, burly smoke, and I thank Neil Osborne for turning me on to it. It will definitely be another tobacco in my tobacco toolbox, and my experience and my expanded pipe journey. And again, I would highly recommend going to a pipe show. If you just kind of pipe them by yourself or in small groups, and your only connection with the community is online, which is great, but go to a pipe show, shake some hands, get to know people, and enjoy the fellowship. You'll learn a few things. You'll teach other people a few things. It's just a that's what piping is all about, and that's what the pipe community is all about. So get out there, get involved, and until then, this is Palm Tree Piper saying, stay smoky, stay safe, stay blessed.